Hello, music educators. My name is Kim Kroetsch, and it has been my privilege to teach students of all backgrounds in and through music for 3 decades. Additionally, I am the creator of In and Through Music on TPT. When I first began teaching elementary music, I often felt like I was going in circles when it came to teaching rhythm. I would try out all kinds of different rhythm activities, but I was unsure about how to order learning activities that would help my students develop their skills and build upon their musical skills in a sequential way. As a result, over time, I created a comprehensive scope and sequence for teaching rhythm in elementary music for my own classroom, for myself and my students. This sequence is modeled after Bloom's taxonomy's cognitive domain, and the sequence of instruction is based on the Kodai method. I begin this unit in October with all of my elementary students starting in first grade, and the unit goes all the way through winter break in my setting. While the sequence of instruction remains the same from grade to grade, the complexity of the material increases as the students advance through each grade level. As an example for this video, I'm going to guide you through the unit's progression for first grade to illustrate how I sequence learning and build rigor for my students in rhythm learning. As I mentioned earlier, this sequential approach to rhythm teaching and learning is based on Bloom's taxonomy's cognitive domains, which begin with simple remembering and move up to the most complex thinking skills, which involve creation. So in music, I begin at the first level, which is remembering. And in music, that involves echoing. I want to mention that I underscore almost all of my rhythm teaching with musical loops that I've created myself. And there are two different kinds of loops I use. I have Latin loops, which I've actually been using this month throughout my rhythm lessons because it's Hispanic Heritage Month. So each day I'm using a different instrumental musical style: reggaeton, salsa, Latin pop, Brazilian Afrobeat, and um, Cuban jazz. I also have another set of loops that I use at other times of the year, which I call modern musical loops, and those include hip hop and another form of Latin loops, EDM, which is electronic dance music, disco, and country. And the reason I use these loops to underscore all of my rhythm teaching is because they exponentially increase student engagement and focus, even for my littles who have a hard time sitting, and for my older students who are a little too cool for school. The loops are magic and they work like a charm. Another sidebar before I get back to my sequence is that I've created these posters for my classroom, which are very helpful to me in tracking where each of my classes are in the sequence. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time. So many classes, it's hard to track who is where. So I use these posters for myself to track where students are. The students really like seeing their progress of their learning goals and how they're developing over time and how they compare to the other classes in their grade. Also, it's just a very omnipresent visual for my administrators who come in and are interested in the learning goals going on in the music room. So for the purpose of this video, I'm sharing just my first grade example. I have one for grade 1 through 5, and each is different and advances in rigor according to the grade level. To illustrate how all of these pieces come together, we're on level 1, which is echoing. I'll turn on my Latin musical reggaeton loop. My turn, your turn. Ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. Ti, 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 ta. As you can see on our grade 1 rhythm goals poster, once students can echo 4-beat rhythms, speaking and using body percussion, they get a star on the chart, and we are ready to move on to the next level of learning. Understanding is the next level of higher order thinking skills, and in music that involves reading in first grade 4-beat rhythms. I project first grade rhythms up on the board. I turn on a musical loop, and students are practicing speaking the rhythm, speaking and clapping, just clapping over the musical loop. And once they can show me that they are able to do that independently, we move on to the next level, which is application. We spend more time on this level because there are actually 2 musical skills involved. The first one is reading and playing musical notation. So this is when we're getting out instruments, lots of handheld instruments. Eventually we move into my drum studio and we are working on playing those rhythms over musical loops. And then I also do a couple of lessons on musical notation. So practicing the skill of how to write our music symbols and then putting them together into phrases that are 4 beats long. Next, we move on to analysis, which is ear training in music. And I have several fun games that we play in the music room to develop our analysis skills through ear training games. In the next level of evaluation, the use of the musical loops and the styles that students are creating music to really come in handy, because now students are critiquing which musical styles they enjoyed playing the most with throughout the course of their learning and why. They're in practicing musical critique. As you can see, students have been accumulating stars on their chart as they're building their rhythmic skills, and we've arrived at the last row of our chart, which is the highest order thinking skill, creation. And in rhythm, I really focus on improvisation at this stage. Composition is also an example of creation. And it's so very exciting to see what kind of music students can create on their own once they've achieved this highest order thinking skill, creation. You might be wondering how I know students are ready to move on as they progress through each level. And within my rhythm teaching lessons, I have created assessment checklists which help me identify if students are ready to progress through their learning. So I hope this has been helpful to you as you think about going from just teaching activities in music class to actually creating a comprehensive scope and sequence that builds rigor for your students in music. If this seems like a heavy lift to you, all of the resources that I shared in this video are available at In and Through Music on TPT. And I wish you the very best as you continue on with your music teaching journey. Take care, everyone. Bye.